Alright guys, remember that card we just talked about, the Baobaboon? Well, someone made it broken because, you know, welcome to Yu-Gi-Oh! Everything's got to be broken, otherwise it's not going to be good. But anyways, we got Baobaboon over here, and you guys will see it's really insane in Metalfoes. I didn't even think about that. You can actually use the Metalfoes effect to destroy Baobaboon, then get double Baobaboons, cycle through 3 cards, go into an Invoker, get Momorat, and then you got the Momorat broken little play over there where you get to go ahead and bust out, you know, pretty much whatever you really want to go for, which usually ends up in a Drancia, or you can go for another rank 4 play. But nonetheless, it's pretty overpowered, and it's really relevant right now over on Yu-Gi-Oh! Pro, and I'm sure on DevPro, same thing. And if Dueling Network was a thing, people would be messing around with it in Dueling Network as well. But like, that is an insane field. This is all pretty much generated by just a few cards. You guys can see he still has multiple back row over here. He still has Metalfoe Fusion to recycle itself later on. He's got a Dark Requiem Exceed Dragon over there. So he has a lot of access to just like free extra negations. Negate that, gonna go ahead and special summon a Dark Rebellion. Look at that, like, that is insane. And you know how easy it is to pull this combo off? It's any Metalfoe monster, and then you have multiple copies, and I'll get into the deck profile in a second, but I want to showcase off the different variety of plays in here. But you can pull off this combo really, really easy. Now, there's 2 different builds that we'll be going over. There's a Artifact one, because Artifact is still pretty good. A lot of people have been catching up on the hype that happened in the OCG where the guy was like, main deck triple Scythe, and it's just a good card in general, just to stop your opponent from playing. But you can go ahead and just get like multiple Baobaboons, cycle through cards, and then stack your deck. Go for the Invoker, and again, the Invoker plays are just so strong because I think that it's Momorat that makes everything broken, and that's probably why it's the only deck that's really tearing it up over in the OCG. But yeah, this play is straight up broken. I mean, look at this. He's going to go rank up Dark Requiem, go ahead and make that 0 attack, and he's got that chain material, he's got that match change, and I mean, I guess Crush Card would be eligible to use Destiny and Dragoon as a target, but he's just going to go ahead and say no. It's 6,000. Like, what's wrong with Yu-Gi-Oh! These days, man? The game is getting too fast. But like I said, it's a very easy combo. I'm going to showcase off the Metalfoe build as well as the other build for you guys, but it's just way too strong. I think the Metalfoe build is the one that's going to be like more competitive, but it's literally like, you have 3 copies of the Lone Fire. You also have Botanical Girl, which is, I don't really think it's the greatest card because it is a little bit slower, but you have Botanical Girl, you have Lone Fire, you have triple copies, of course, of Baobaboon, and you can go ahead and just Metalfoe, go ahead and destroy it, and then you're good to go. You can see the Scythe is already there to be set up. He's going to go ahead and crash Baobaboon. Baobaboon is just going to go ahead and get double Baobaboons, and then you get that effect of cycling out whatever you want to go ahead and cycle out. He's going to go draw Momorat, place them both on the bottom. He's going to go ahead and make some damage to his opponent, and then he's going to go ahead and go for, again, the standard bread and butter Momorat play, which is just, it's so unfair. I feel like this is what makes it broken, but Baobaboon definitely makes it even more broken because the consistency is real. Like, you throw Momorat and everything, and you just have access to, like, this is an absurd feel. I remember when Darkholds used to be like a thing people were worried about, but summons a card, it doesn't really matter. This card was only going to special summon itself. Completely irrelevant. And he had Scythe and Mortal Attack in the background. Not that he could have actually popped him right there, but still pretty good stuff indeed. But I think the Metalfoe build is the way to go. And is this the one? Yeah, there we go. There's the card that I wanted to talk about, which was Symbol of Friendship, which means if your opponent actually has multiple cards, you can actually completely get rid of your opponent's stuff. Oh, my bad. The life point thing was a little bit lower. I did get a new overlay setup, so my bad on that. We covered life points. Was the life points relevant? Nah, don't worry about the life points because you're going to be finishing off your opponent pretty much. Turn 1, you guys can see the guy is playing some Predator Plant. Red Eyes, interesting stuff. I mean, I like it when people are innovative, though. I give people props for trying out like interesting things that normal people probably wouldn't want to try out. But nonetheless, you guys can see this Red Eyes player over here. He's going to go ahead and make the Falling Meteor Dragon, burn him for 1,400 points of damage. He's going to attack over the 101 Silent Honor Dark. He's going to go ahead and heal up, but then what's funny is this card can just absorb things, like I said in my video before. The rank up to 7th one is insane. Like you guys can see, he's just like, nope. But like I said, I definitely feel like the build that is correct is the Metalfoe's build. Metalfoes are just really strong. You guys can see he's going Upstart. He's got this Kaiju, because I was thinking, well, maybe Kaiju can deal with Zoodiacs, but I feel like when you play it with this, it's just like too strong. He's going to place on the bottom, and this is again the better build right here. Over here, you can see the ability just to cycle through 2 cards. It's just like it's too good, and then you got to make Invoker, Mole Rat plays. It's probably gonna be like, I see potential in this deck. I think it's pretty broken. You guys let me know how you feel about that. Like, has it gone too far with Momorat? I think it's safe to say Momorat will probably be like semi-limited, or they'll probably hit it on the next ban list for sure. A lot of people were also saying Invoker is also a problem, which is definitely true. But with Baobaboon, it's too good, man. But let me know if you guys think this deck needs to be hit before it comes out, because we've had decks like the Gishkis get hit before they even come out in the TCG, so maybe we won't have to worry about this. But if this doesn't stay in check, I think we're running into a potentially another Zoodiac build, because it's pretty much Zoodiacs or nothing. You see, he's got the rank up stacked on top, pretty good stuff indeed. But the thing is, Vandy's Emptiness is going to go ahead and say no to that. But I feel like when you're playing Kaijus and you throw up Vandy's, it's pretty much game over for you anyways, because that's kind of what the deck revolves around, which is special summoning. But nonetheless, he's going to go ahead and lose anyways that turn. Really good stuff indeed. This one was just a real cheeky play. Real fast, outscale, outplayed. He goes ahead and sets the Black Stone of Legend. Not so great running tunes here in 2017, but I understand, you know, fans like certain things. He's not going to attack into this. He's got that Comic Hand. I remember when this used to be a tune card when it first got announced. But anyways, the rank up 7th one, he's going to go ahead and make that, and his opponent's like, nope, I ain't dealing with this shenanigans. This card is actually pretty good. If you guys didn't know what this card did, because normally people probably wouldn't make this, but once pretty attached material from this card, negate until the end of this turn, negate the effects of all other face-up cards currently on the field. Also, your opponent can't activate cards or effects. So, you know what? Rank up, pretty good card indeed. And it's got 4,500 attack. It's not going to have 107, well, actually, hold on, if I can click on it. You have to attribute 2 monsters. So, I mean, it has that effect if you have Galaxy Eyes Tachyon Dragon. You can attribute 2 monsters and it can make up to 3 attacks. It's not that necessary when you're going to have, like, Baobaboon going to go out and bust out the Momorats for you. But, nonetheless, pretty good stuff indeed. I know some of you guys want the deck profile, so of course I will deliver it for you guys. So I think that the Metalfoe's build is actually better. Now, I know some of you guys are going to say, well, you can only activate 1 rank up per duel. The thing is just drawing it to set up pretty much games most opponents, because this card is, like, really strong. 4,500 negates everything. Like, that's pretty balanced, and obviously there's some other amount of targets. We saw Dark Requiem busted out. We also saw C101. You can bust out some of your favorite C101 through 107s that you normally wouldn't be able to bring out, because they're kind of difficult to bring out for some decks, unless of course you activate that Soul Charge. But nonetheless, let's get into the deck profile, and we'll talk a little bit about the other build that I kind of briefly showed you guys, which was the artifact one. But anyways, we got triple Wolf Flame, triple Gold Driver, then we have 3 copies of Silver Bird, and then 3 copies of Steel Red. Now, there is another card that I was going to suggest. It's called Summoner's Art, just so you can cycle through cards a little bit faster. If you guys want to make any changes to the build that you guys saw, let me know down below in the comment section below. But really cool stuff by just combining this. Like, I never thought of that. Like, it's so OP, man. But then we got 3 copies of Momorat, because that's pretty much what everyone's going to be playing next format anyways once this card comes out. 3 copies of the new Baobaboon, 3 copies of Lone Fire, 3 copies of the Real Metalfoe's Bismagia over here, or Bismogear if you are playing in the TCG. Then we got the Upstart, we got 1 Day of Pepperoni, 3 copies of Rank Up Magic Someone. Keep in mind, guys, you can only activate its effect once per duel. You guys can run 1 if you want. Drawing multiple is technically bad in one sense, but the thing is you're going to stack the deck anyways, and on top of that, you have Baobaboon's effect 3 times, and at that point, just use the other Baobaboon's effect to put it on the bottom of the deck. You do not want to draw this card more than once, because you can only use this effect once per duel. If you're playing on Dueling Network, well, if Dueling Network was still a thing, then yeah, you could activate this effect multiple times, because Dueling Network, all about them pro plays. But next up, we got the 2 copies of Metalfoe Fusion. There was 1 duel where we saw one of the Metalfoe's fusions made, but or the fusion monsters made, but for the most part, yeah. It's not going to be something that you're going to bust out every single game. Then we have 3 copies of the Phantom Knight's Rank Up Magic, which also lets you get access to some of the more crazy Exceed monsters. Then we got Twin Twisters at 2, and then 1 Cosmic Cyclone. I guess we're cycling cards. Also a good target to discard would be Rank Up Magic, the 7th one, with your Twin Twisters. Then we got Cosmic Cyclone. Then we have 3 copies of Metalfoe Counter, so you can go ahead and make it so whenever a card is destroyed by battle or card effect, you just special summon a Metalfoe's monster from your deck. And so that's kind of nice. And then for the extra deck, I'll mouse over the things. I'm sure there's a lot of other crazy exceeds, but I definitely recommend you guys to put in 101s on our Dark Rebellion, obviously the upgraded versions of it. Obviously you need the Zoodiacs, and then you have to have Invoker, and then we have 3 copies of the Metalfoes for the fusions. Now I briefly touched up upon that there was like the artifact. Well, I don't really like this one, but I figured I'd mention it for maybe you anti-meta players. This card can be really good, which is Symbol of Friendship, aka Ring of Peace in the OCG, but I thought this card was interesting. It might not be something that's super easy to pull off every single duel, but I think that a lot of duels, like, your opponent's going to summon a lot of things. That's just kind of how Yu-Gi-Oh! Is right now. So I think Ring of Peace definitely can be an interesting card, but for the most part, the builds are very similar. But this one's got double Scythe, 1 wall attack, triple Vajra over here. We got Caduceus over here, and then we got the Beagle Talk. And then we got 3 copies of Moonrat, 3 copies of Baobaboon, and 3 copies of Lunefire Blossom. So basically it's like 6 copies of, like, if you open up one of them, you're pretty much good to go in Metalfoes. Although this one, like, opening up multiples of, like, certain things can get bad. Again, I think Twin Twisters, also you can make good use of discarding Lunefire, because you pretty much only have, like, 1 shot, 1 opportunity, Mom Spaghetti. Maybe you run Global for other targets, potentially. Also, Global would be technically a target. Then you could run Synchros, and the possibilities for this deck can go even further. But nonetheless, yeah, we got 3 copies of... I really don't recommend this card. It's more of like a crazy, like, Yu-Gi-Oh! Hype moment if you can pull it off. But next up, we got 1 Day of Pepperonis, and then a Soul Charge, and then pretty much everything was like the same except for the Artifact Engine, which is triple Ignition, double Twin Twisters, triple copy of Sanctum, and 2 copies of Oasis of Dragon Souls to support some of the artifacts. Now, this one is more control-based, and the reason why I wanted to mention this one, because even though it's not as meta, it allows you to pull off rank-up magic a little bit easier, simply because certain decks, they're going to game you. Like, if you go pass, you're going to lose. If you would set up the rank up for the next one to draw, they're going to get ready for that, and they're going to be like, I'm going to throw as many things as possible out on board. But with the artifacts, you're going to say, oh, I'm going to special summon Scythe. You can't special summon monsters from the extra deck for the rest of the turn. Therefore, you're going to top deck and get something really good out, and then you could just game your opponent because they couldn't go for cards from their extra deck. I know some decks don't need the extra deck, but for the most part, most decks do. So I think this is really interesting. So shout out to TERIYAKI for them awesome replays, man. That was so fast. We already see Baobaboon seeing play, and like it looks pretty good. But let me know, guys, what other ways can we use it? Really good use of Baobaboon over here. But anyways, thanks for watching, guys. And if you enjoyed the video, make sure you guys get a like button, a titty slap, and subscribe for more crazy Yu-Gi-Oh content.